Hello and welcome to my channel. I appreciate you coming by. I do hope that you get to visit my other videos that I do have on my channel. I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about traveling with pets. Now I know this is not for everybody, so whoever can get any information or tidbits from my video today, that would be great. That's what my intention is to give you a little bit of a reminder or a aha moment on what it takes to travel with pets. Now I'm going to specifically talk about dogs today, not any specific size or type of dog, but there will be a few things that I do touch on. And if you have any comments or questions, you can comment below. Please make sure that you click the like button and click the subscribe button in order to see the other videos that are coming along with this. But this is basically traveling right now with your pets at this time with all the craziness going around in the world. You just have to be ready for anything. So here's a list of tips. If you want to get paper and pen and write some things down, that would be advisable. As a matter of fact, let me get my pen. I'll be right there. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with a few tips first about traveling. Now, the title of this video is Traveling with Pets During This Time, Pandemic 2020, what have you. You gotta, this will definitely help you out. Wherever you decide to travel to, long term, I'm talking long term, like maybe out of state or a couple 100 miles away, and you're going to be gone for, let's say, 3 or 4 days, maybe a week or so. Just some reminder tips. Some people are mature enough to understand these tips and they know about them, but those that don't know or have forgotten some things, I'm glad I get to help out today. When you shop for necessities and you think that you have to pack everything, you don't. You pack what you need that you don't already have, okay? And you shop for necessities after you get to your destination. So that's less weight that you're carrying in your vehicle and less space. So when you're traveling with pets, they have more space if they're not caged. Okay, sometimes they'll be caged, sometimes there's going to be a harness. So you can buy a harness and harness them to the back. Don't forget your blankets. If they shed, make sure you put a blanket down. Let's see, have a certain time that you post about your trip if you're going to try to post things like on Facebook and Twitter, so you don't have to burn down your battery and it's better for lighting. Try not to park in a suspicious spot when you're doing your posts, because some people will think that you're crazy. I've had people stare me down when I'm in my car. I try to post things while I'm driving so that it looks like I'm actually talking on a speaker on a phone, talking to somebody. So don't get in trouble that way either. Bring a journal. Journal where you go, what day. If you want to visit that place again, write down the exit number that you have to get off of. Make a journal. Collect little trinkets from places. I'm not saying keychains and hat pins and stickers and load yourself down with a bunch of collective stuff, but little trinkets like here's an example. I went to Hard Rock Cafe and I got an alcoholic drink, and I had a little stirrer. And the stirrer has a little guitar on the top. So I kept that. So that's like a little trinket. You can also like make a scrapbook, okay? Keep a napkin that has their brand name on it and put it in a scrapbook. All right, so back to traveling with pets. All right, when you're traveling on the road with pets, you have to have a lot of patience, and you know that you're going to make a lot more stops. Make sure that you have the tags up to date. Make sure you bring a copy of the vaccinations in a little, like you can put it in a little 10-inch envelope, like a business envelope. Make sure you keep that in your side door or the door that you don't open in case it rains and it gets ruined. Make sure that you have some kind of pet insurance. I definitely advise that, because if anything happens out on the road, it's just like children. They have to have insurance of some kind for care. I would actually suggest wherever, if you know where you're, like point A to point B and you're only going to one place, make sure that you Google in your zip code or in that zip code or in that city any kind of vet clinics, vet hospitals. How far are they going to be from where you're staying? Always have them covered too. Vaccinations, I've already gone over that. Pet supplies, okay. Like I said, you can write some of these things down. Pet toys, pet blanket, pet clothes, because some people do clothe their dogs. Water jugs, 2 extra gallons of water in the back seat or in the trunk. Always bring that, and a portable water dish. It's like a little water dish that has a little cup and it flips out, and you drain the water so that they can drink. You know, especially if you're in places where there's no water or you don't trust the water. If you have a certain place that you want to stay, you want to call them first and see if it's not on the website, see if they're pet friendly, and if there's a deposit. And here's another tip: they do charge. Some places do charge by the day, by the day that you stay there for hotels. So just letting you know about that too. Always have a harness. Try to buy a harness instead of just putting them on a leash, because you never know. You never know. All right, so for like mosquitoes and different kinds of weather, I do suggest Avon Skin So Soft in a, you can dilute it if you want, but don't just like completely rub it into the skin, but just kind of like spray the bottle and coat them with it, and it will reflect from all the flies and the ticks and mosquitoes and ants. Yeah, it's definitely, I've used it, and there's like 100 different ways of using Avon Skin So Soft. But I do recommend that, and I also do recommend doing it 10 minutes before you leave for your walk or outside outing. All right, so as far as their tummy goes, if they have an upset stomach, I do know that they are allowed to have Imodium pills, okay, or Imodium liquid, but it's Imodium now. It's our human, yes, it's our medication. But the Imodium is 1 milligram per 20 pounds every 8 hours. So that's Imodium, 1 milligram per 20 pounds every 8 hours. So you'll have to do your own math on how much to give. I've also been told that they can have not NyQuil, Robitussin, I think it was. But you know, that's you can call your vet and actually get a list of what they're allowed to have. But that right there, yeah, that's a big one. I do know that anything with salt, if you have unsalted crackers, they can have crackers. As far as human food goes, I made a checklist of safe foods. This is where you can write this down. I'll give you a minute. Okay, so safe foods, they can have eggs, any kind of eggs. You can whip up a raw egg and then put it over their food. That's really good for their coat. They can have bread, but it can't be in bulk consumptions. They can have cheese, coconut, but not chocolate, but coconut, cooked fish. They can have honey, but in small amounts. Peanut butter, small amounts. Unsalted and unbuttered popcorn. Yep, they're allowed to have popcorn. And not a lot of dogs really, they're not too crazy about it. Quinoa. Okay, pastas. They can't have pastas. They can't have regular rice because it expands. But they can have quinoa. It is very, very good for their digestive system. Carrots, raw or cooked, they can have those too. Green beans, they are a great alternative to dog treats. You know, the snap peas, just snap off the ends and cut it in half. And if they won't eat it, just stick it in a little peanut butter and they'll eat it. But it's very good. It's full of vitamins and it's very good for dogs. Yogurt, yes, they can have yogurt, but not in a big consumption like how we would eat it. I use it to put pills down my dog's throat. All right, so the not safe list. Okay, this is where dogs cannot have this. Garlic is really on the list, but what I do is if I don't have the pills for the fleas that I usually give her, I would take a clove, just a little slice of the raw garlic, and I would mash it up, and then I would put it into something, and I would literally, you know, I would give it to her. I would make sure she gets garlic because it is a good repellent as well. They can't have almonds, no chocolate, no raw onions, cinnamon, absolutely not, ice cream, no, because then you're going to be giving them the Imodium. And on top of that, some of this bad list, if they do get it and they get the Hershey squirts, you'll know why. You'll have to keep track of what they eat and how they go to the bathroom in order to see how their digestive system is taking what you're giving them, other than their dog food. Macadamia nuts, no. Raisins, absolutely not. Prunes, no. Who would want prunes anyways? Ginger, can't have ginger either. Rice, pastas, nope. Anything containing the sweetener, now if you'll have to write this down. I'll probably put it in the comments, but just to let you know so you have it on hand. It's a sweetener, Xylitol. Say it again. It's a sweetener that has this ingredient in it. It is definitely toxic for dogs. It's Xylitol. Tomato sauce. They can't have that either. That's toxic to dogs too, like tomatoes. Raw potatoes. That contains an ingredient that's toxic as well. That's the spelling on that is Solanine. 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 They can have them baked and they can have them boiled and they can have them mashed, but they can't have them raw. No butter, no salt, like I said. No potato chips. It's the grease, it's the fats. It will definitely upset their stomach and they will probably have the Hershey squirts. But I just basically wanted to go over those. So if you guys have any questions, if you need to replay this and write things down, that's perfectly fine. But please comment below and let me know how you went along with this list. If you need anything else or if you can share something, that would be great too. But yes, I appreciate your time, and we are at the 14-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and go so that I don't keep you any longer. And just be safe in your travels, and don't forget about the pets. Do not leave them in the car, because there are laws here, especially in Florida. If somebody sees a dog in a car, they're going to rescue it. They're going to break that window or whatever they're going to have to do in order. It's just like a child. You know, you can't leave a child in the car either. So they're considered children. They're considered a part of the family. So I definitely appreciate your time, like I said, and thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye now.